you know what I'll be happy to talk about a whole lot less this year? Can we just park the Sam Bankman-Fried story? I mean, Sonali Basak's dropped by, and Sonali's got to cover this for a living. I get it, Sonali, forgive me. But I'm so sick of this story. I just want it to go away.
I spent my New Year's Day rereading all the indictments. So you and I both, brother. So, you know, at the end of the day, there are a lot of charges being brought forth for him as well as his deputies. And by the way, we're not even seeing all of his deputies come to the fore here. For example, the former Alameda CEO, nowhere to be heard of or found. But today's a big day because today he will be going down to a Manhattan court and pleading, we expect, not guilty. That draws this out for another year or so for you, John. So this will take a long time should he plead not guilty to 8 criminal counts.
So talk to us about the timeline. What are we thinking about here?
Should he plead not guilty, then there's a process in which he will go to court. There will be a lengthy series of hearings. It will take a long time. The question is, does his plea change anywhere in that kind of time frame? This has already, remember at the beginning we were talking about how is this going so slow? Why is he doing all these media appearances? Why haven't the regulator said anything in the U.S., let alone abroad? Now we're at this place where things have moved so quickly since December 13th. That was just a couple weeks ago here that we saw that this indictment came out.
There was a headline that crossed just moments ago that Sam Bankman-Fried has asked a judge to redact the names of the co-signers on the bail agreement. There is a question not only about the machinations of this case, but who's backing him? Who is involved with him? Who are some of the people other than his parents, which also are interesting given that they are Stanford professors or were in the profession of law?
Yeah, and have worked with very big figures from Peter Thiel to Gary Gensler. So a lot of names here who know the Bankman-Frieds. But when you look at that idea here that you can't know who the co-signers are for this, there's a lot of frustration. This is a $250 million bond. He says he has $100,000 in his own bank account. This is secured by his parents' home, which is a very small fraction of that bond. At the end of the day, there's a lot of Sam's life that he himself has financed through FTX, which has been getting all of these allegations here about the money coming from customers.
Well, we've been talking consistently about not just this particular case, but the ripple effects through the crypto sphere, but also beyond, political sphere, as well as others. And I'm just wondering whether you still get the sense in your conversations that there is more on that front, or have we really seen the bulk of it, which seems to be, at least based on the stability we've seen in certain markets, it's already passed?
It's definitely not passed because, remember, there are a lot of bills sitting in Congress now at the time where many constituents have lost money from FTX or Gemini or Genesis, and they're clamoring for their regulators and their lawmakers to get it together. These lawmakers, many of them have met with Sam Bankman-Fried. Many of them have taken money from Sam Bankman-Fried and his deputies. Some of them have given it back. But at the end of the day, there's no clarity. And FTX has lobbied for some of these rules. Binance has lobbied for some of these rules, at least the U.S. affiliates. So when you look at the range of influence of crypto in Washington, it gets really hard to parse what's the right road ahead.
Just briefly, what's happening with the rest of those political donations?
You know, one question that has come up is, are they subject to bankruptcy claims? How do you get the money back? It's been spent on media ads in some cases.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Are you saying that some political parties could file for bankruptcy in order not to return these?
No. The FTX bankruptcy, they want the money back for the creditors. And so what do you do with money that's potentially been spent? I think that that's a weird question to try to suss out. Some has been donated to charity. But at the end of the day, whose money is it? And a bankruptcy court would argue that it is the creditor's money.
You find the most dramatic angle to every story, don't you?
It's in my nature. It's just, catastrophic thinking.
Sonali, just on the timing of when we're expecting to hear about all of this today, 2 p.m. this afternoon.